News in details. Now, Global Climate Change Alliance, in partnership with the National Environment Agency, on Thursday organized a day forum to discuss matters related to an action project called GCCA+ Climate Resilient Coastal Marine Zone Project for the Gambia. Funded by the European Union through the Gambia-EU cooperation, the said project focuses on climate resilience and coastal marine zone management. Yahya Jammeh tells us more of that in this report.
This forum, which gathers experts and frontliners in preserving the environment as well as climate eradicators, is expected to come up with solutions that will save the country's coastal zone from the clutches of climate change and its related constraints. The country's coastal zone, where the majority of the population now lives, consists of 80 kilometers of open coast from Bunyadu Point on the north bank of the River Gambia to Karanti Bolong on the south bank, whereas there is also 200 kilometers of sheltered coast along both banks of the River Gambia. Lives and livelihoods in some parts of the Gambia are also under increasing threat due to the climate change effects, which is making some areas more vulnerable to a range of coastal hazards, including flooding, saltwater intrusion, and erosion. Cognizant of these factors, the Global Climate Change, together with the National Environment Agency and the European Union, brought together relevant stakeholders to discuss and initiate ways to enhance institutional governance, enabling planning and implementation of improved resilience, adaptation, and mitigation measures in the Gambia. Speaking to Eyeafrica TV, the Executive Director of the National Environment Agency, Dr. Dawda Baji, dilates on the importance of hosting such a forum in relation to the country's coastal zone.
Over the years, we see the coastline has gone under threat, and it is important that we look at it collectively, what we call an integrated approach, to ensure that we work together as all the stakeholders. What are the problems which are we know them, and how can we go and address those problems and also implement whatever agreements that we have in addressing some of these problems. So this forum, whereby you're gathering all stakeholders, it is key, because you cannot address the problem you alone as an institution or as NEA or even the funders. But it's important for us to look with all other stakeholders so that they have their say in how best we can work together to address the problem.
Aruna Job, the GCCA+ project coordinator, while speaking on the need for more climate change resilient, emphasized that the country's coastal zone may be exposed to intense hurdles due to demographic pressure and its related effects.
It is important to have at the back of our mind that the Gambia's coastal zone is likely to undergo intense challenges in the near future, mainly due to demographic pressure on this small, low-lying strip of land. Already, more than 50% of the country's population lives within the coastal area. Consequently, unless careful environmental planning and management strategies are instituted, continuous conflicts over coastal space and resources are obvious.
The Global Climate Change Alliance is an initiative of the European Union with an objective to build a new alliance on climate change between the European Union and the poor developing countries that are most affected and that have the least capacity to deal with climate change. Among major challenges or threats that faces the country's coastal zone is climate change, which is already stressed by human activity, pollution, invasive species, and storms. Sea level rise could erode and inundate coastal ecosystems and eliminate wetlands. Warmer and more acidic ozones are likely to disrupt coastal and marine ecosystems. Reporting for Eyeafrica News, I am Yahya Jammeh.